Does your calendar match the work required to reach your goals? This is Ron Wojciechowski for Real Estate in a Nutshell. And it's interesting. I always hear that I'm a full-time agent and I'm working really hard. I work 7 days a week and 100 hours a day. And you know what? Just stop it. Because if you're going to tell me that you're a full-time agent and that you're doing all of this work and that your results are off for the last year or the last quarter, the first thing I'm going to tell you as a business coach and a sales professional in the top 1% of the industry, I'm going to say, let's just see your calendar. And I want to examine that with you. And I'm going to look at your calendar and we'll do it together. And I'm just going to stare and say, so looking at your calendar, what are your observations? And what I might see is nothing on there. Like, okay. So full-time agent, but nothing on the calendar. That to me equals you're out of business because there's no appointments on there. Now, okay, well, I'm in the office from 9 to 11. Okay, good. Are you having coffee and donuts and Facebooking, or are you working? And if you're working, were you making phone calls? Were you sending emails? Were you texting? Were you making videos? Or were you just in the office available? Because I got to tell you, hitting the refresh button on your computer to see if any new emails came in with leads, it's not a business plan. And checking your Facebook is not a business plan. The reality of it is that most agents work less than 10 hours per week, and it's documented. And if you don't trust me on that one, please don't. Get out a piece of paper or an app or something and write down 8 to 8:15, 8:15 to 8:30, all the way through the day, just like a calendar. And just simply write down what you did real estate activity-wise during that time and let me know the results. The sad fact of the matter is you think you're working from 8 to 11, but you might have only had 4 minutes of actual call and contact time with your clients. So it's not really 3 hours. And when you add those all up, most agents clock in around 4 or 5 hours a week. So a full-time agent apparently is like 4 hours a week. Now, I do have a prescription for you, a remedy to this situation. And I'm not going to ask you to work 10 hours a day or 50 hours a week or any of those things. I'm going to ask you to work 12 and a half hours a week with high intensity. And I got to believe, if you work 12 and a half hours a week, you will be in the top 10% of your real estate board. And here's how you do it. You actually show up to work at about 8 o'clock and you get your coffee and your stuff or whatever it is. And at 8:30, you're actually locked in and working. Just like you had a job, 40 hours a week at some company, right? Where it's 8 to 5 and you're there for 40 hours and somebody looking over your shoulders. Here, at 8:30, you begin work. You're prepping. You have your calendar in front of you, and you're going to role play for 10 or 15 minutes during that time. So that way you practice on a role play partner, not your customers. And guess what? At 9 o'clock, you're going to do? For 2 hours, you're going to dial the phone. You're going to talk to people in your sphere, your database, your CRM, your new leads, your family, your friends. You're going to make 2 hours of phone calls a day. And during that time, you might make 30, 40, 50 calls pretty easily because most people don't answer. And you get messages out. You can just do that every day. And Monday through Friday, from 8:30 to 9, you're going to get ready. You're actually going to be studying the market, studying trends, new listings. You're going to role play for maybe up to 15 minutes a day and 2 hours a day make phone calls. And 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 12 and a half hours is all it takes. Because when you get to 11 o'clock, if you have not booked an appointment for the rest of the day, guess what? You have immense freedom because you're out of business because you have no business to go to. Now, you got options. You can go to the beach, go home, eat Fruit Loops, I don't know. Or you can make more phone calls and prospect or go out in the market and see other properties and do other things or educate yourself. But you're absolutely out of business every day if you don't have an appointment, and it's a simple remedy. Now, interesting as it sounds, most people are not going to go to their calendar and block out 8:30 to 11 or 8 to 11 and show up at the office, not at home, not in your slippers, in the office. 99% of the agents won't do that. It's interesting because to make top 10% of the industry, it's irrefutable. You work 12 and a half hours a week, you will be in the top 10%. And if you don't believe me, try me. Prove me wrong. This is Ron Wojciechowski for Real Estate in a Nutshell.